You know that one person who quietly sits in the corner during meetings, thinks for 10 minutes before saying a single sentence, spends more time asking questions than talking about themselves, and somehow ends up seeing problems that everyone else completely missed? The one people call quiet, reserved, maybe even too cautious. And then, years later, they're suddenly leading a company, writing a best-selling book, building something extraordinary, or becoming the person everyone turns to when things fall apart. If you're someone like that, welcome. You're about to feel very seen. Being this way doesn't mean you're socially awkward. It doesn't mean you're slow, and it definitely doesn't mean you're less capable than louder, faster, more confident people. Today, we're breaking down why one of the rarest personality types often reaches success much later than everyone expects, and why psychology says that delay isn't usually a weakness at all. Because while some people peak early, others spend years quietly building foundations no one else can see. For some people, life is about quick decisions, fast rewards, and immediate recognition. They enjoy taking center stage, making bold moves, and learning by jumping in. But for others, life feels different. They watch first, think first, question first. Not because they're afraid, because their brain naturally searches for patterns before taking action. More than a century ago, Carl Jung described one of the fundamental differences between people as introversion and extroversion. Introverts naturally direct more attention toward their inner world of reflection than constant external stimulation. Stripped of the academic language, it simply means their mind prefers understanding before reacting. Imagine two people standing in front of a puzzle. One immediately starts fitting pieces together as fast as possible. The other spends several minutes studying the picture on the box before touching a single piece. At first, the second person looks slower, but halfway through, they often make fewer mistakes because they understood the bigger picture first. Personality move through life. And here's where it gets interesting. Modern society often rewards visibility before mastery. The person who speaks confidently in the meeting may be noticed long before the person quietly solving the hardest problem. The loud idea gets attention. The well-tested idea often gets results. Research on personality consistently shows that conscientiousness, emotional stability, and the ability to delay gratification become increasingly valuable as careers become more complex. In other words, experience slowly catches up to people who think deeply. But there's another layer. Most people like this weren't born believing they should stay quiet. Many grew up in environments where listening carefully was safer than speaking too quickly. Maybe mistakes were criticized. Maybe they learned that being prepared mattered more than being impressive. Or maybe they simply discovered early that careful observation helped them understand people better. Their nervous system learned something important. Don't react first. Understand first. That lesson can make childhood feel frustrating. While classmates receive praise for raising their hands immediately, these people are still organizing their thoughts. Not because they don't know the answer, because they want the right answer. Now, let's pause, because this video would be doing you a disservice if I didn't mention something. Sometimes this same personality becomes trapped. Overthinking can disguise itself as preparation. Perfectionism can pretend to be wisdom. Some people aren't waiting because they're gathering information. They're waiting because they're terrified of being wrong. One is thoughtful patience. The other is fear wearing patience as a disguise. Learning the difference changes everything. Because the goal isn't to think less. It's to trust yourself enough to eventually act. You don't need perfect certainty. You just need enough confidence to take the next step. And here's the part most people never notice. Many of history's most respected innovators, scientists, writers, and leaders weren't the people who looked the most impressive at 25. They became remarkable because they kept learning long after others believed they already knew enough. Their advantage wasn't speed. It was compound growth. Every year of careful learning stacked on top of the last. like interest in a savings account. The gains looked almost invisible for years. Then suddenly, everyone wondered where their success came from. You might be realizing you're one of these people, and you've spent years feeling like you're somehow behind everyone else. Or maybe you're realizing you're not, and the idea of taking that much time to make decisions feels completely foreign. And if it's the second one, that's okay too. Neither way of moving through life is superior. They're simply different strategies for navigating the world. Some people bloom early, some bloom later. The timing doesn't determine the value. So, if you've ever worried that you're too quiet, too thoughtful, or too slow to succeed, remember this. You're not falling behind. You're not incapable. You may simply be building something deeper than the world can measure right now. Carl Jung believed that real psychological maturity often comes much later than people expect. He called this process individuation, the gradual journey of becoming who you genuinely are, rather than who the world expects you to be. If this felt meaningful, you're welcome to subscribe. Here on Mindline Lab, we explore the hidden psychology behind everyday behaviors, emotional patterns, and the parts of ourselves that quietly shape our lives.